Thank you for joining me, Kory. Today, I'm doing a little case study interview with KCM Cable. To kick things off, Kory, can you introduce yourself, your background, and what you do at KCM Cable?
Yeah, so my name is Kory Ewell and I own KCM Cable and Manufacturing. We build custom cable harnesses and wire assemblies. My background is I grew up in electronics manufacturing. My father owned a PCB and cable manufacturing shop. And then I've been doing this for 25 years since I was a kid.
Awesome. Really
Yeah.
impressive background. What would you say, Kory, sort of sets KCM Cable apart from other manufacturers, and why do customers typically approach you?
Yeah, so people usually approach us because we're smaller and we're more flexible. We do a lot of prototype and low volume work, which a lot of larger shops don't touch or aren't interested in. And what also sets us apart is that our slogan is custom cabling is our craft. Most people that work here have been doing cable assemblies for well over 10 years. And so it's something that we love doing, that is our passion and is our craft that we're good at, that we've dedicated our lives to doing. So that's what I would say.
Really impressive. And yeah, you do some really awesome work, and it's been a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
So before using Quoteque, I'd sort of like to dive into what the workflow looked like beforehand. So before using Quoteque, what did your quote process used to look like?
So what we would do, everything was in spreadsheets. Didn't have anything that helped us. So I would get the customer drawing. I'd have to create the bundle on the spreadsheet, manually look for the parts prices and manually calculate all of that stuff out. Some of it was automated through, I guess, formulas on spreadsheets, but the hardest thing to do was when we would have multiple quantities. Like if you needed quantity one, quantity 25, 50, 100, 250, and then and then trying to recalculate all of the prices based on the quantities manually with the pricing that you would get from the supplier. That was really hard.
Yeah, yeah, I appreciate that run through. Could you sort of elaborate on sort of other than what you just mentioned about the multiple different quantities and figuring out the pricing, what else would you say are sort of the biggest challenges that you experienced with your previous workflow?
Too many spreadsheets. If I had a like, for example, I had a quote that I did that was 45 different assemblies. And so it was 45 different, well, more than 45 because they wanted three quantity sets on there. So it was three times 45, 135 spreadsheets for one. Well, that was bad.
Yeah, death by spreadsheet.
Yeah. Yep. Death by spreadsheet is exactly correct.
So when evaluating, Cabletech, what sort of made you pull the trigger and decide to implement Quoteque into your business?
So I was able to meet you guys on LinkedIn and I had seen the stuff that you guys posted. And so you had created um, like an identity for yourself, and two, being able to talk to you guys directly and seeing from the creators. And then three, your background, like your father's background. Like you said, you're a multi-generation uh cable harness family. So that was good. And that the software was created by people who actually know what we're we're doing and what we need. And then I would say four, um just seeing how, knowing exactly what my pain points were with what I just mentioned, and seeing how it simplified the workflow for us by automatically, like I said, automatically calculating the different quantities and then being able to keep track of all of the assemblies in one quote, all in one area was excellent.
Thank you for that, Corey. I really appreciate the kind words. Now that you've sort of taken the leap and implemented Quoteque into your business, how has the experience been so far, both with the software and the team?
With the software is very easy to use. It's being updated all the time. I can access it on any computer or any laptop, so that's nice. I've even pulled it up on my phone a couple of times if I needed to look at something. And then with the team, your team knows what they're doing and they're easily accessible. So that's been a good thing.
Awesome. What immediate benefits did you notice once implementing the software into your business?
Yeah, the immediate benefits were just time saving. I had mentioned to you guys on one quote that I just did, it saved me about 18 hours. I had calculated like doing that compared to maybe other shops have a different workflow than what I did before. But me personally, it saved about 18 hours of work because it was all there just in one spot. So,
Yeah, it's a huge differential.
yes.
And sort of zooming out from that one specific case and taking a sort of step back, what would you say has sort of been the impact that Quoteque has had on your business so far?
Yeah. Yeah. So from using it for a month, I feel like I'm a lot more confident in our pricing because I can see the exact number and it's been easier to calculate the pricing and the feedback being purchase orders that we've received. I've had more customers tell us that we're competitive, our pricing is competitive. And that's something that I've heard a lot more of recently in this past month. So, and I didn't have much previously. So I feel like, yeah, more competitive pricing and more accurate pricing.
Yeah, and that's really good to hear, and really happy to hear about that positive impact that that we've been able to drive for you, and that that's sort of what keeps us pushing forward, being able to deliver something like that for you.
Definitely.
My last sort of question is basically, is there anything that you'd share with a cable assembly manufacturer that sort of might be on the fence about trying out Cabletech?
Yeah, I would say just get in touch with them directly. You can find them on LinkedIn. They're very accessible. When I was exploring it, I compared it to a couple of other solutions that are out there that aren't exactly they work, but they're not exactly tailored to cable assembly. And so once I tried it and I got into it and used it, that's what convinced me about the product. So I would just say try it. There's nothing to lose. There's a lot to gain, I think, from doing that. That's what I would say.
All right, that wraps up all of my questions. Corey, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with you, and we look forward to continuing to deliver results and continuing to drive impact for you, and really appreciate your time and all the kind words today.
Yeah,